You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Time to fire up the VCR. This one's my favorite. That was gold.
Welcome to Analog Jones in the Temple of Film. I'm Steve.
And I'm Matt.
And this is a VHS podcast that goes into the box art, trailers, and behind the scenes. And this one is one that I don't think a lot of our listeners have watched. It is a disaster film that doesn't get a ton of traction, but a little bit. So Matt, what are we watching for our second disaster film?
We're doing another one of the, like you were saying, maybe people didn't know about it, one of those movies that absolutely tanked in theaters, but did have a second life on video. We're doing Turbulence with Ray Liotta and Lauren Holly.
Hello and welcome aboard. Whenever we fly, wherever we fly, we at Transcontinental take time to ensure your safety. Your seatbelt should be worn low and tight across your lap. If you didn't put your carry-on luggage in the overhead compartment, then be sure to place it under the seat in front of you. For those of you afraid of flying, prepare to be terrified. For those of you who aren't afraid, enjoy it while it lasts.
We've lost all communications with Transcon 47. Help me get this plane on the ground.
This plane is not gonna land!
Should be close to exceeding the structural limits of the airframe.
Just got a fire.
He's crazy!
Do not open the door.
Miss, will this delay our flight?
What's FAA procedure in a situation like this? I don't think there's ever been a situation like this.
I'm 35,000 feet in the air, and I'm smarter than you!
Who is actually flying the aircraft?
Say your prayers.
We thank you for flying Transcontinental Airlines, and please enjoy your stay in your final destination.
It just bankrupted an entire production house in Reicher. Was that the name of the place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Reicher goes under, and we had to do our research on this. Turns out that MGM got the distribution rights for the movie, the theaters, the U.S. theaters. And then later on, when we have our VHS here, it has HBO video on it. HBO home video. Yeah, a really curious journey that this film took, because I had read it was recorded in 95, was set to be released in 96, the summer of 96. Then you said it got pushed to Christmas of 96, and then got pushed again to January of 97.
Yeah, and this does feel like a very sort of mid-90s thing, but it does kind of have like this vibe. Like in 97, when you're watching it, does kind of already feel old. You know what I mean? Like it already feels like it should have come out earlier than it did. Feels dated already.
I would have honestly guessed that this film was like a 93.
It has the, you know, it's in our inclusion for this month. It has the 90s disaster movie tropes for sure. But yeah, I think we were a little postmodern by 97. So this feels old. It does. It has the 90s tropes, but you know, we were a little bit past that in 97. So it is kind of interesting. But yeah, like you said, it just kept kind of getting passed around, and time went by and a bunch of different distributors got involved. Not only did this end up tanking Reicher Studios by the time they made the third one, because of course it did turn into a series because the video sold well. The third one tanked Trimark. So just a cursed series.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, when I was watching this, I got some TV vibes on some of the shots and how he was shooting, or the director and cinematographer was shooting this. And then I look up the director here and I see 100 credits. That right away gives you that it's a TV guy. His name was Robert Butler. it looks like a TV movie sometimes.
Like the second and third one, which premiered on, I think the second one premiered on HBO, and then the third one just went direct to video. But like those, like this feels like it should have just, like when Reicher was starting to have trouble and stuff like that, this feels like it should have just went direct to HBO. It should have just premiered there, I feel like.
But the problem was they spent $50 million.
I read in the IMDb, I don't know if you saw this, but in the IMDb trivia, it says like $55 million was spent on the movie. Since neither of the stars were like commanding any kind of money, no one's really sure where this money was spent.
Yeah, there's definitely some like tax questions that went into this film, I'm sure, in the bankruptcy court that they had to go through. The studio claimed that the special effects in this cost them more money than they ever anticipated. Because I think initially that this whole budget was supposed to be around $30 million. So I don't know if there's some kind of illegal bullshit going on here. Either way, the movie tanked. I mean, even if you spent $20 million and it only made 11 in the box office, that's not good.
And that January release date is a pretty high indicator that this was just kind of dumped too. MGM was just like, let's just get it out. We'll take whatever we can get. We'll take the hit on whatever.
Yeah, and you can tell, obviously, it technically, Turbulence is a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Coming out in the summer of 96 would have been like counter-programming. So I get that. Sometimes that works. Now, it would have been perfect to hit into that Christmas 1996 area. But January 10th is even past the holidays where people aren't even off anymore. It is one of the worst dates to put a film out. And it's almost like, to me, you could come up with maybe they wanted this to fail. Maybe MGM wanted it to fail to, like, I don't know. Is there some type of tax benefit? I don't know. It's a terrible date.
They had to do one of the pushbacks was because of some plane terrorist thing that happened for real. So they, out of, respect to that, they, one of the times, whether it was the summer one or the Christmas one, I forget, but they decided to delay it because of that. But in turn, then also limited the marketing, the posters, all of the TV spots, everything like that they had been pumping, earlier in the year. Then they stopped all of it. So now you have like no advertising for this movie whatsoever either. So you're dumping it and you're not really like showing it. But I do remember early 1996 seeing this trailer in a theater. But yeah, later they just kind of were like, all right, we're not going to run the ads. We're not going to do the posters. We're just going to dump it. So it must have just been a write-off situation.
Like someone had planned on hijacking a plane in another country, I think is what I read. And then they were scared, they didn't want bad publicity. And I've also heard that Lauren Holly's people, because she was such a rising name, kind of tried to block this as well, like almost get it like shelved. But I don't think they were going to do that. They're going to at least try to make some money back. I mean, they didn't, but we can talk about how good it did on home video, which will transition to me talking about this film. If you're walking down the aisle on a Friday night, you're looking to rent something. This is a terrible cover, in my opinion. It looks like a TV movie, or an HBO, direct to HBO. It's got the top, Ray Liotta, Lauren Holly, Turbulence, and Turbulence is kind of like off its axis. I don't know but it also looks like it's shaking. Anyway, the biggest thing that you read here, it's a killer ride with Lauren Holly and Ray Liotta's eyes like cut into the lettering with the plane going between two buildings, which, I mean, in a post 9/11 movie, you're like, yee, but they didn't know that at this time. And they're supposed to be crashing in, was it Vegas?
Yeah, I think the ultimate landing ends up being in like LA, but the big like chaos, wheels down, scraping the buildings is in Vegas.
Yes, but this shot, the background of this definitely looks like LA. I mean, no one's going to know what city this is. You can always tell Vegas, but this could be any city. I don't know why they chose that, but we flip this onto the back, and this is going to be one of the easiest descriptions I've ever read. Let's start with the quotes here. It is a black box that has Lauren Holly like grasping for her life while Ray Liotta's character tries to, I don't know, beat her, kill her, rape her. I don't even know what he was trying to do with her half the time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea is that this plane is going down because he has eliminated all the pilots. They're going to die together, but he's still kind of just chasing her around like a slasher, like a slasher in a horror movie. I'm not really certain what his end goal is because they're going down. Like his intention is just to crash the plane.
Yeah, I understand that he just wants to go down in a fiery, he's going to kill himself because he knows he's fucked. But what he was trying to do with her, I was confused about.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. So we've got a couple quotes. It's Twister at 36,000 feet from the Hollywood Reporter. No name attached to that. And then we've got a wild ride you'll remember from People magazine. No quote. I mean, no one attached to that quote either. These are just like MGM or HBO. Can you get anyone to say something positive? Twister at 36,000 feet. No, it's not. There's no team, nothing. Well, I guess you could say the people like trying to bring down the plane safely, maybe, but no, come on. That's a huge stretch. When a 747 heading from New York to LA is taken over by a seductive psychopathic serial killer, the only one who can stop him is a beautiful young flight attendant. You'd better fasten your seatbelts because this trip is going to be a killer ride. And it's got weird gaps. This is weird. Between flight attendant is like a bigger gap kerning between any of the other lettering. Same thing with you'd better. What the hell? This is so bad.
A rush job. Cheapy.
Oh, it's a very cheap. It even feels like a cheap slipcover. But anyway, so there we go. Let's pop this tape in. No trailers. It just goes straight to the movie. How about, wait, do you have this VHS?
No.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Great. Right into it.
So, feature presentation.
And now, our feature presentation.
Okay, so we get Ray Liotta's character meeting a woman. And, good looking guy. I think he has flowers or something like that. And they're setting up that he, wines and dines these women. And then I guess kills them. But here's the thing. I don't know if he rapes and then kills them. Or if he's just a serial killer slashing them. Because they kind of allude to both. But never say exactly what he does. He just kills them. That's all we know.
Yeah, we know that he has a penchant for blonde women. Blonde kind of pixie women. That's his thing that he goes after. But yeah, again, we don't know what that means. Does he kill them? Does he do more with them? Does he wear their skin? We don't know.
Yeah, so Ryan Weaver, he definitely likes those type of women. But they also set it up where Lauren Holly, at the same time, is supposed to be meeting up with a man, which I think ends up being married or something. Either way, they kind of make it seem like Ryan Weaver is going to her house, but it's actually another woman's house. I don't know the whole point of that. I thought it really was confusing.
Yeah, like a kind of Silence of the Lambs kind of fake out where you think he's going there, but he's going somewhere else, and we're just kind of crisscrossing our main characters a little bit. Yeah, it was honestly a little confusing watching this again. I was like, is he already starting with her? But they do the thing too where for the first 30 minutes of the movie, they're kind of playing it again, if you didn't read the box or whatever, they're kind of playing it like Ray Liotta might be wrongfully accused because we don't see him ever do any of the murder stuff. And all we see him being, when he's first arrested and he first gets put on a plane, we only see him kind of being charming. We never see him do any of the killer stuff. And he keeps claiming to Héctor Elizondo that he is totally innocent. So the movie's trying to kind of fake us out with that too.
She tell me something. How did you plant that evidence in my car?
If it were true, what difference would it make?
Knowing what you did, you're a cop. How do you look at yourself in the mirror?
I like what I see. I'm proud I got you off the street.
Is it fame? Is that why you screwed me? Did you want to solve one big case before you retired? You got your promotion? You're going to write a book now?
You didn't even make the evening news.
See? You watched. This must really burn your ass. You go through all of this, you track me down for 2 years, and you still get no respect.
LA's a tough place for a killer. You have a lot of competition out there. You should have killed a celebrity.
I never killed anybody.
Yeah, but I never believed it. He was definitely charming. If you're going to do a true fake out, do a true fake out, because this one never works at all.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer shows him fucking going ballistic and screaming. And, you know, and like it's on the box. So the fake out kind of doesn't really, you know, you almost have to like not know anything about this movie for the fake out to kind of work on you.
So they get up in the plane and he's arrested, and they're taking all these criminals from New York to LA on a commercial flight. And I guess they're trying to sell it that they're doing that only because it's the holidays. But what? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I think it's like they're traveling on Christmas, so they don't anticipate a ton of flyers. And I think we have like 3 or 4 just regular passengers on the flight. And then all the rest is like the couple criminals, which is Ray Liotta and Brendan Gleeson with the worst Southern accent I have ever heard in my entire life. And then a bunch of like air marshals and FBI and, you know, police guys.
Oh, and then the main Michael Harney, which is playing Marshall Douglas, he's in this, and he's the one that ends up being tricked. Oh, no. It's the other guy who gets stabbed. The guy who always plays like a cop or U.S. Marshal or something like that, a detective. He gets stabbed in the neck, right? In the bathroom. And that's how this all like starts. The Irish guy gets the gun. Brandon Gleeson. He gets the gun, and somehow he gets killed by Ray Liotta because Ray Liotta gets a gun. And I don't even know how any of them get loose. I don't remember how the rest. Maybe the other guy who got him out, Brendan Gleeson, comes back and takes all their handcuffs off. I don't know. Like I just kind of like lost track of what was going on because it was like just chaotic.
And it moves very fast. So all of this kind of happens within like before the kind of even the halfway point in the movie, because we have, I would say maybe like 40 minutes, because really only the last hour is like crazy Ray Liotta.
No, there's like an hour and a half of this movie where they're just on the plane like, oh, are we going to be able to land this? What's going to happen? What do we do? And I would say like even like the last 30 minutes is when he goes crazy. There is a good chunk of this film, I would say from the hour mark to about the hour and a half mark, where I'm like, yeah, we need to cut this down. Or maybe even within the first hour, because it's like Lauren Holly's character talking to her friend Maggie, who is the mother from Child's Play and Seventh Heaven. Anyway, there's too much talking in this, and I'm like, I don't care. There's a lot of this movie that I just don't care about, but everyone needs to watch this for the last maybe half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, when Ray Liotta goes insane.
I'm 35,000 feet in the air with no pilots. And even if I did get down, what would I have to look forward to? Huh? Get out fucking 20 guns in my head. You bring me back to prison to await my execution. No, I'm smarter than that, and I'm fucking smarter than you. But we all know that, don't we? We all know that because you couldn't get me without cheating. You fucking cops can't do anything without cheating and without beating.
Oh, we caught you, didn't we?
No, you didn't get me. How did you get me, Hines? I'm up here and you're down there. How did you get me? How did you get me?
Calm down.
No, I'm not gonna calm down. You got me mad now, and I'm gonna go take it out on somebody. And you know what, Hines? Her blood is gonna be on your hands. You got that? You wanna be famous, Aldo? I'm gonna make you so fucking famous. You make sure you're wearing something bright up in that tarmac, because you're gonna be the first fucking cop to die with a plane up his ass.
Yeah, Ray Liotta is on like a Nick Cage level in this movie, which, you know, if you're a fan of Ray Liotta, you've seen him do. He does this, you know, he can go there. But this movie, you know, it's such kind of like schlock. It's like really fun and delicious to just watch him go fucking bonkers in this silly ass plane movie.
Well, yeah, and then you have the entire team on the ground trying to land it. No fucking way that they're just gonna have like some flight attendant land this plane. Like at one point there's an autopilot on and Ray Liotta goes down in the cabin or whatever, the basement of the plane, and like destroys it while he's drinking champagne. I mean, this film is bonkers at the end.
Yeah, it really does. It feels like two movies, and it's not super long, 100-minute runtime. It's not like crazy, you know, 2.5 hours like last week's movie or anything like that. But yeah, like the second half is when it, totally, absolutely gets silly. And Ray Liotta kills the two pilots. He's like, we're fucking going down. He rips out the autopilot. Lauren Ollie's got to learn from Ben Cross how to land this plane. Well, he's sitting in a plane not moving.
He's like looking at all the controls and reading the controls of a 747 while he's communicating to her how to land a 747, which I just found that hilarious.
I would imagine if he was a professional that he wouldn't need to sit in a plane to explain this to her.
Yeah, I laughed at it. I was like, but, whatever. Maybe he was about to take off in a 747. It got delayed because, we've got a pilotless plane coming into LAX that somehow almost crashes into Vegas. Actually, yeah, so this movie is 100 minutes. You are correct. But it feels like 2 hours to me because there's so much in this movie where I'm like, we got to keep going. Come on, get to Ray Liotta going crazy. Ray Liotta, at one point we were describing, like, I don't know what he's trying to do. I think he's going to torture, rape her, and kill her, and then take the plane down right into LAX just to give a ultimate fuck you to the detective that he keeps claiming set him up.
Well, he admits it. Héctor Elizondo, this is the 90s when it was okay to have in a movie to have a police officer set him up to get the bad guy. Nowadays, if you have like a police officer in a movie planting evidence, he's the bad guy. But this was the 90s, so by any means necessary, he was going to catch this guy. So he planted, I think it was a teddy bear. He says he planted the teddy bear evidence just so they could catch this guy because he knew he did it, but they just didn't have anything on him. So he did plant it. He did do something fucked up, but
that's right.
It did catch him.
You weren't smart enough to get me, so you cheated.
And that's basically why he, like you said, is on like this fuck you mission to just crash this plane so that he can't get his man.
Yeah, and he was saying something like, "This is all your fault." Didn't he shoot someone? Didn't he shoot one of the flight attendants? Oh no, he kills Maggie.
What's your favorite book, Maggie?
I read Stephen King.
You're alone a lot, aren't you?
What does that mean?
Men don't look at you anymore, at least not the ones that you want. Your plumbing's getting rusty. What do you have to look forward to, Maggie? You might be able to go for it, but then what? Can you kill? I started with squirrels and birds, and I moved on to cats and girls. If you can kill me, Maggie, go for it.
What did you do with Teri?
I think it's you that you should be concerned with.
And she pops out like a horror movie at the end to scare Lauren Holly, and I'm like, yes! Straight up like a Halloween slasher in the air.
You open the fucking cabin where they store your carry-ons or whatever, and she comes dumping out a little white corpse, like ghostly thing.
And he also tricks everyone, like putting, I don't know where he put all of the other flight attendants and very few passengers that were left. He like stuffs them in a airplane closet. What?
Yeah, so the surviving members of the crew, which there aren't many, there's like 5. They get put, I think in a closet of some sort. I don't know. This plane has a bajillion rooms, so I'm not really sure. But he also takes the time at one point to set up all the corpses with like headphones on and stuff like that in the seats as well, because he's a fucking lunatic.
That was pretty funny. She does have one scene that I was kind of just shocked that they kept in the film. Because Lauren Holly wins a Razzie in this movie, and it's earned for this scene. And I kind of was just surprised that they kept it, but maybe it had something to do with they couldn't get reshoots. She is so wooden, and it's like she is reading off a cue card in front of her, or like maybe they like taped the script in front of her and highlighted her lines, because she's like, "So you want me to do this? I'm going to play the scene for you here."
My name is Teri. Teri Halloran.
Very pleased to meet you, Teri. Captain Samuel Bowen here. Now remember, when you need to say something, push the RT switch up, hold it there, talk, then release it. You got that?
Got it. Are you a passenger or? I'm a flight attendant based out of New York. My employee number is 10.
We don't need that right now, Miss Halloran. What is the status of your flight crew?
Dead. Both are dead. One of the prisoners escaped. There was a shootout. All the marshals are dead. It's a mess. What do I do?
Teri, this is Frank Sinclair, FBI. Who is actually flying the aircraft?
Nobody.
I'm up here all alone.
Where is the rest of the cabin crew?
Down below with the other prisoner, Ryan Weaver.
Oh my God.
Try and keep her calm.
Is this plane going to crash?
Her reading the lines is bad enough, but when you see her face and you add that to it, woof. Wow. They really did her some disservice.
Yeah, I wonder if it is like you said, a situation where it was just like the first take and they put it in the movie, or if she just really fucking didn't want to be there. I don't know. I
don't know.
Ray Liotta's having a blast.
But there's certain parts in this film where she's trying. She's definitely trying. She's going all out, but I think it's more of the physical acting that she's better at. Because, man, when it came to her just sitting down and reading lines, ouch. And I'm trying to think, what was she coming off of other than Dumb and Dumber, which is the greatest comedy of all time?
I don't know, because that was Dumb and Dumber 94.
Picket Fences, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 96, so... Yeah, but I mean, like you said, she was on the rise. She's got her name above the title, so she was. This may have killed the momentum of her career, but she was a star on the rise.
Yep, didn't work out. Oops. I mean, she still worked for quite a while.
She still works now.
Yeah, she's in a TV series. Oh, Tiny Pretty Things. I don't know what that is, but okay.
Yeah, she worked. I've seen her in some sci-fi movies and stuff, Sci-Fi Channel movies a few years ago. She's working. She's around.
She's definitely more of a TV actress. She's in TV a lot. Maybe she likes it better. She just feels more comfortable.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, but she had a run in movies. They just weren't big movies.
Yeah, but, you know, she's around. I think she's nestled, with TV into being more of a character actor than, headliner.
Which is fine. I mean, you can make quite a career out of that.
Work is work.
Really, all you can describe is how he just goes crazy and he's yelling the entire time and she's trying to land the plane. She does land the plane after a fake out of trying to land in... They did try to land in Vegas, right? But they had like a truck.
Yeah, because the plane scrapes like the top of a building that must have like a parking lot or something in it. Yeah, a truck gets stuck to the wheel, so she can't touch down. So she's got to come back and land. I think it was actually LA because she turns around and comes back to it. Okay. So she crashes through Vegas, tries to land in LA with a car she got stuck on the bottom of the plane in Vegas. The Air Force or something, Top Gun guys are coming in to shoot down the plane because, they don't want her to blow up LAX. So they're going to shoot down the plane, but the pilot has a conscience and he just shoots the car off so she's able to land.
Oh man, nowadays, if you had that plane is going down. It's getting shot down over like a farm.
Yeah, they had her because she had just kind of passed. This is how I remember she passed LA. She was over the water. So they were just going to,
I think that's what would happen in reality.
Yes. Shoot her down, water landing. If she makes it, great. If not, oh well.
Can you fashion a parachute out of anything? Jump now.
Go now. But she lands, she makes it, it's okay, and she shoots Ray Liotta in the head in the end, which I thought was pretty satisfying. He had been a fucking nutcase for the, whole second half of this movie. It was pretty satisfying to just watch him get popped at the end.
God, he was having so much fun.
He's got some great one-liners. I'm never taking this airline again. Well, he's got like his foot trapped in the door that she's, got him locked in. He's got another line around there too that I can't remember now, but he's got some funny one-liners in this.
No, he's very good at Nick Caging it up. I mean, we watched him in
Something Wild.
Yeah, we watched him in Something Wild, and he's fantastic in that. He just lights up the room. Now, I think he's a little bit better in Something Wild because it's a better script, but in this one, he is thoroughly entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of in summation here, like, the plot and the dialogue is pretty stupid in this movie and kind of useless. If you've seen like an airport movie or whatever, it's just the same thing, but like for the 90s. But he is so fun to watch in this movie and so crazy that I would recommend this movie. I thought it was, I kind of had a blast watching it. Again, it's stupid. The script's bad. It's not really like, when there's dialogue scenes and Ray Liotta's not on screen, it's, you're just kind of waiting till the next scene he's in. But like, I thought it was fun. I had a good time with it. I haven't seen it since the 90s, so it was fun to go back and watch. And I had a good time. I'm not gonna lie.
I think this would be, if this was a watch party movie, this would be the good one to do right when everyone gets their food. Like, because the beginning, you don't have to pay attention so much. You get eaten, and then to get them out of that little food coma they might be in, the last 30 minutes just like sets the room on fire. Like, whoa, what is going on? I think that's where you put this in the watch party.
Absolutely. This would go well in like a bonkers performance kind of movie night. You know, like some chewing scenery actors with, you know, Nick Cage movies and 90s John Travolta and stuff like that. Like, just like bigger than life actors, probably coked out of their mind because it was the 90s. Just giving it their all. And I agree with you. Yeah, that last like 30 minutes, everybody's going to have a blast.
Truly is a fun ending. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about another movie in this series that I don't know if we'd ever do a true, maybe we do an episode on this, but I found that I had Turbulence 3 Heavy Metal, and this is more of like something to tell everyone. If you get a chance, I think Tubi has it, Tubi or Amazon, I can't remember. Go watch Turbulence 3 Heavy Metal. I think you'll be thoroughly entertained with a Marilyn Manson exploitation plane movie.
Yeah, you mean you've got Rutger Hauer, you've got Craig Sheffer. Yeah, you've got this makeshift new metal Marilyn Manson-esque band on a plane. It's very fun. The VHS is extremely hard to find. It's like one of those super rare ones for some reason, probably because it was the last Trimark movie or something like that. So if you're ever at a thrift store and you come across Turbulence 3, pick it up immediately. Those are rare babies. So and also the movie is totally a blast. So if you want to watch it on like Tubi or Amazon or whatever it's on, if you're from that era and you kind of remember the new metal stuff like that, the movie is called Turbulence 3 Heavy Metal. So I think you'd have a blast with it. I really like it as well. I think it's just a really dumb, fun movie.
It's got these songs that clearly, I don't know if it's the actor that played him is singing it or they got someone, but you can't find them anywhere. I think the only way you can probably record these songs is on VHS, because I don't know if this ever had a DVD release.
I don't think it has. I think that plays into the rarity of that VHS.
Oh man, these songs. I can play a clip of this song in this one because no one's going to take us down for this.
Yeah, nobody's going to sue you because you can't get them anywhere.
So there you go. Just a taste of what you can get. Just a little bitty taster. Now you're going to be addicted to that and you're going to have to watch it. And I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi. I think that's the easiest way to catch it.
Yeah, we both like this one. So recommended. Heavy Metal. Get on it.
And one of the funny things you were mentioning that Craig Sheffer is it Sheffer or Schaefer?
I think it's Sheffer.
He's in Turbulence 2 and 3, but as a different character.
He's kind of this star of 2. He's kind of got like, boring sort of guy on a plane in trouble kind of role. And in this third one, he's like this fucking like crazy. He's got the tiny sunglasses and the headband and tie-dye shirts. And he's this kind of over-the-top, silly computer hacker character. Totally different characters in both movies. Don't know why they did that, but God bless them for doing it.
And what is funny about this is clearly Craig Sheffer and Rutger Hauer are not on the set of this movie. They are in two different locations. Both of them are in two different locations. Rutger Hauer is in like maybe 5 minutes, where he just gets into a little bitty box room and he's the pilot talking to people. I don't think he ever actually interacts with the crew. And then Craig Sheffer is like also just in a room, probably in LA with, I forget the girl's name, but you've definitely seen, she's a character actor, has been around for a while. She's an FBI agent and I don't know what he is, but he at one point takes out a airplane simulator like joystick, if you know what I mean, and lands the plane virtually. It's just amazing.
Yeah. I think Sheffer's my favorite part of that movie. He's a fucking lunatic, and it's really fun to watch.
And you were talking about the little glasses. It's not only on him, it's also on another character in the same room he's in. Like they're wearing both the same style of like this John Lennon shit.
2 for 1 special.
Yeah, like what?
on tiny sunglasses. Yeah, I think Rutger Hauer is totally like, if we're comparing to the first movie here, he's totally like the Ben Cross, where he's just by himself the whole shoot. Except Ben Cross comes and meets Lauren Holly at the very, very end of this. But yeah, it's the same deal. He's just in a room.
Watch it, folks. You're gonna enjoy it. Trust me. That is definitely one that I would love to play in a trash movie setting. I just think everyone would enjoy it.
Yeah, it's pretty spectacular. It's a pretty fun one. I that might be coming to a movie night near me at some point. So
good. If I can come, I will watch that.
Wonderful. I'll schedule it around your next visit.
Okay, let's go on to the museum.
This is the second time I've had to reclaim my property from you. That belongs in a museum. So do you.
This is the part of the show where we go out in the film jungle like Indy and bring something back to our disaster wing of the museum. We just hit the second one. The first one we were flying into space. This one we're staying in the atmosphere. So, Matt, what do you have for this disaster wing?
I can't just put in the whole lunatic Ray Liotta performance, so I'm gonna put in just his fucking zippy one-liners because they were cracking me up the whole movie. So Ray Liotta's psychotic one-liners is going in my Turbulence wing, if you will, of the museum.
It's a good one. I'm just going to put in Lauren Holly, like, reading lines. Like, I know it's bad, but I laughed so hard at the scene and then rewound it to watch it again. And I'm like, I can't believe you did this to her. But it's, I don't know if it's good or bad. Honestly, it's just her in a cockpit. Like, okay, you want me to do what? Grab this, press this, got it. We're good. Can we land? I'm like, oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what it says about me that I didn't even really notice that in this movie. Maybe I've just seen too much garbage that I was just like, yeah, this is a performance in a film. I didn't even realize it.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to something I watched. I don't know if you've watched anything recently, but I decided to get into the QAnon documentary on HBO, and that is fascinating. Like, I stayed out of most of it. I didn't really care. I'm like, yeah, whatever, conspiracy theory people or whatever. But it is nuts. Highly recommend watching it. It's like 6 parts. I can't remember. But just the people involved in it are just like straight out of I don't know, like a Walmart documentary. But they're not in the United States. Like, just watch it. Enjoy it. Turn your brain off. And if you believe in any of that stuff, I don't know what you're doing listening to these two liberals talk about tapes.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of crossover. I really want to see that. I haven't watched it yet, but because it is a bit of an undertaking with like 6 episodes, and I know it's gonna, even though it's gonna be like funny, I know it's still gonna infuriate me. So I haven't gotten to it yet, but I do really want to watch it, and I'm probably gonna watch it pretty soon because it does sound absolutely fascinating.
Oh man, it's so easy to binge. Every 5-10 minutes, there's something else where you're like, what? They did what? People believe this? What? And it just keeps going down this crazy rabbit hole. And I'm telling you, they get people, they just can't wait to get in front of the camera. This is what I noticed about all this. They just want to be popular so bad that they are spewing this off the wall. Like, they are in full belief that, like, during Pizzagate, you know, they're just like, yeah, totally. I mean, they're sitting there, they're drinking the blood from babies and killing them. And they're a bunch of pedophiles in the basement. And they're like, the pizza place the pizza place doesn't even have a basement. And they're like, well, you know what we mean. I'm like, no, we don't. And they're like, well, there's many restaurants inside New York, DC, and LA that have these underground basements. And I'm like, what the fuck are you people? They literally believe they like blend these babies up that they traffic in, And that's why the Democrats are always trying to get everyone across the border. And then they blend them up or they put straws in them. And this whole drinking the blood of babies has been around for a really long time. It's like an old tactic that you would do to make your enemy a monster. So it's easier for your army to kill them. Because it's hard to kill a human, but it's really easy to kill a monster.
Yeah. They double down on these beliefs. You can put facts in front of them. You could be like you said, you could say they don't even have a basement, and they always will have some sort of follow. They are just so in it. They just fucking believe everything. So again, I know it's going to infuriate me when I do watch it.
Well, it's also comical. I think that's what makes this so entertaining, is there are parts where I flat out just laughed out loud because I'm like, wow. And there's one part in the whole film where I go, well, that's completely set up and obvious, but millions of people believe it.
Yeah.
Anything that you watched that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I will give an ultra quick recommendation. Fun thing that I've started on HBO, actually. I have begun binging the first season of Gossip Girl, and it is absolutely fucking delicious. I'm loving it so far. So,
does this go all the way back to when the Jersey Girls and I called you a monster for never watching Gossip Girl?
Probably. It's always kind of been on my list, though. I knew I was going to get to it eventually. And I love the cast, and I love the time period, and I love the cattiness. So I knew I was going to get there at some point. And I finally, a couple weeks ago, finally started it. And like I said, I'm only in the first season. So as we continue to do episodes, every few episodes, I will check in and let you know where I am in my Gossip Girl journey and how much I am loving it. But I fully intend to do all 6 seasons as soon as I can.
That's amazing that you're going to try to go through all of that.
Yeah, I'm not a big soap person. I'm not a big young people drama kind of show, but it's just from the right time with the right people that I'm all in on it. It feels kind of like the Screen Gems movies from that time, just with their cattiness and the bitchiness and stuff like that. So I'm loving it. Can't wait to keep going.
Yeah, so we were looking through Amazon, just anything random, because I don't know why. We just wanted to watch something random, and we came across this movie called Dancing at the Blue Iguana. It's about strippers, and their stories. So I was like, hey, babe, I was joking. Do you want to watch this? And then Sarah's like, yeah, let's watch it. And I'm like, okay, that surprised me. The only reason I'm talking about it is because it has Daryl Hannah. It's got Sandra Oh, Jennifer Tilly. And here's the shocking thing about this movie. All these actresses are nude dancing in this, and it's clearly them. These aren't body doubles. Boobies everywhere, butts everywhere. This story of an underage girl becoming a stripper, which is very uncomfortable, but again, she clearly doesn't look underage. Anyway, here's what I'll tell you about Sarah and I's viewing of this. It is a 2-hour film. We are 1 hour in. It is showgirls level nudity everywhere, every 10 minutes and everything. I have never watched a more boring film about strippers ever created. We had to turn it off because I go, you know what? Blew their load, so to speak, in the first 10 minutes because they showed all these actresses that we know in, Grey's Anatomy and throughout time that we've probably never seen nude. And if they have, it's been very rare. But anyway, you got over that shock so quickly that the rest you realize it is a terrible fucking story. They one is interested in books. Oh, one is going through college. And I'm like, what are we doing? We quit. We quit watching it because it had no, end story. You couldn't see anything at the end. You're like, what are we doing?
Well, and I'll definitely have to skip that one. Not everything can be Showgirls, I guess.
Yeah, at least Showgirls had a whole point. I mean, it wasn't good, and it was just watching a train wreck dumpster fire on celluloid, but I mean, come on. You can't, oh my God. And so what they were trying to do, I think, was a bunch of separate stories coming together at the end. But the setup for their characters, unlike Armageddon, where we know the characters within a few minutes because we see all these stereotypes. And we're like, yeah, I know this character. I get it. This one was trying to set up all these I'm doing complicated because some of them were really simple. And I think something about underage stripping. And I think that it was trying to have a real theme throughout it. But we got so bored, we turned it off and we'll never know.
Nice. Nothing worse than something you got to turn off, you know? I don't know about you, but I don't tend to turn much off.
Me either.
When it's bad enough, you know, I'll do it. So I understand.
It's boredom.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's so shocking to have a movie with so much nudity and like women clearly like working out in the like, you know, the best shape of their lives so they can be nude on camera and everything. Terrible. Just boring.
The worst offense a movie can make is being boring, and double that with a movie filled with nudity being boring. There's no hope for that. There's no going back from that.
Yeah, and what truly made me bring this up is there is a cult following behind it where people are like, this is actually a pretty good film, and we're shocked that it didn't get a blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because, of course, I had to read about it after I turned it off.
Right. Well, utterly fascinating. I will definitely skip it.
Find another stripper movie, folks. You'll be fine.
Showgirls instead. Showgirls for life. I love that movie.
All right, that'll end it this week. Until next week when we have another disaster film to look at. Matt, remember to be kind.
And rewind.